Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. It must be your first day. I'm going to help you get through your new hire orientation together. Now, there's going to be a lot of information coming at you, but I want you to pay attention because this is vital safety information you're going to need to be safe while you work at DBCI. All right, let's get started. But first, I got to get my PPE on so I can go out in the field, starting with my cover-resistant sleeves. Even if I'm wearing a long sleeve shirt, I want to make sure that I have cut-resistant sleeves underneath that. This metal out here can be sharp, and I don't want to see anybody getting cut. All right, got my cover-resistant sleeves on. Next, I got my safety glasses. I'm going to need those to protect my eyes. Then, I have my gloves. Anytime I'm going to do work, I'm going to put these gloves on. And these are cut-resistant gloves of a level 3 minimum. Next, I'll put my earplugs in. That way, I can protect my hearing. All right, you ready to check it out? Come on. So when I come on the floor, it's important that I do a PPE check. My sleeves, my earplugs, my safety glasses, steel-toe boots. Am I ready to go to work? Oh yeah, I got my gloves. I'm ready to go. And you can see there's a lot of forklift traffic. That means I need to be personally aware of where the forklifts are and when to get out of the way. Remember, we want to try to keep 6 foot at least away from a forklift so that we're not going to get hit. And if a forklift's ever coming toward me and I'm against a fixed object, I'm getting out of the way because my body will give up before the forklift will. And I got to watch out for myself. It's important that whenever there is a forklift in use, I'm getting at least 6 feet distance between myself and the forklift. Because if he makes a mistake or doesn't see me, I'm in big trouble. So I'm gonna give him plenty of room to work. And if there's a suspended load like this, I'm getting way out of the way. Never get under or near a suspended load like that. If that load were to fall, it could be a big problem for you. So if you ever see a suspended load coming towards you, get out of the way. If you ever need PPE, get with your supervisor to make sure you have it all before you start your day. We have the Granger machine over here that you can get any PPE that you need. And if you don't have it in there or you don't have access, see your supervisor or see your safety lead. Make sure you got PPE before you start the day. And we do have cranes on site, but if you're not certified, don't use them. And if you ever see someone making a lift, get out of the way. You do not want to be below one of these coils when they're lifted up in the air. That could be tragic. These coils can weigh thousands of pounds. So whenever he's moving them around, I'm not going to be anywhere near. These metal sheets may not look sharp, but they are very sharp on the edges. So anytime I'm going to handle a metal sheet, I'm going to make sure I got my level 3 minimum cover-resistant gloves on. Anytime I even touch a piece of metal or am working around metal, I'm going to have my cover-resistant sleeves on, my cover-resistant gloves on. That way I protect myself anytime I come near them. That's why it's important that we're not wearing jogging pants or windbreakers or yoga pants when we're down here working. We're wearing some sturdy, good blue jeans or mechanic pants material because these metal sheets can cut right through you. Welcome to the welding station. If you're not a welder or you're not trained to be in this area, stay clear. When they do welding, it can do damage to your eyes if you're not wearing the proper protective equipment, which the welders wear every time. So remember, if you see welding going on, turn your eyes, don't look at it, and don't stay in the area unless you're assigned to the area and you have the proper PPE. All right, welcome to the shipping yard. This is where all the finished doors are loaded onto trucks. Now, as a pedestrian, I'm going to stay clear of this yard if at all possible. If I must cut through here, I'm going to make sure everyone's well aware of where I am. And if I see a forklift, I'm just going to step out of the way and let them do their job. But this is the shipping area. There's a lot of forklift traffic, so I need to be extra precautious if I have to cut through the shipping yard. If I don't have to, then I'm going to stay clear. Now remember, safety is always a choice. Yeah, it's a rule, it's a regulation, it's the law, and ultimately you'll lose your job if you don't follow safety rules. But you need to make the right choice with safety because it's the right thing to do. So why would I want to wear my cover resistant sleeves? Well, it's simple, because I don't want to get cut. Same with my cover resistant gloves. I don't want to cut my hands, so I'm going to wear my protection. Safety glasses. Now, technology is not there, and I don't want to be the first one to try it out to replace my eyeball. So I'm going to wear my safety glasses to protect my eyes. And I'm going to wear my earplugs for the same reason, to protect my hearing. Now look, we all have someone who cares about us and expects us to be safe and make safe choices when we come to work. So make sure you're doing that when you're working down here at DBCI. You've already seen a lot of forklift activity in the plant and out in the shipping yard. Now, to be a forklift operator, you have to be certified and trained at DBCI. So do not get on a forklift unless you're certified, authorized, and trained to do so. Now, different jobs might require different PPE, like changing a propane tank requires specific propane-rated gloves. These will help you not get burned by the propane if it leaks out. So if you're changing a propane tank, you have to have these specific propane gloves and a face shield. So we have face shields, latex gloves to go underneath your propane gloves, and you'll be ready to go. Hey there, let's talk about lockout tagout. Now what is lockout tagout? It's when I shut down all the energy sources to a piece of equipment, and then I literally lock it out. So let me show you how to do that real quick on this simple piece of equipment here. Step one, preparation, making sure I got my procedure and my lock ready. Step two, I'll turn the equipment off like I normally would. Now that I have it off, I'll go to the energy source. In this case, it's just a plug. Some cases it'll be a disconnect or maybe an air line you're going to disconnect. In this case, it's just a plug. Now I have the energy source isolated. Now I need to apply my lock. Now for this, I'll put my plug inside of this device here, close it up, make sure it's secured, put my lock on it. That's step four, lockout. Make sure my lock's good. Now I'll put my key on my person and keep it there. Remember, my lock is good for me only. If you want to work on this, you need to add your lock to the device. Now, make sure there's no stored energy, release it if there is, and attempt to start. The equipment won't start, we're ready to go to work. Now in some cases, you'll have air to lock out. In this case, there's a dump valve. I would hit this red button, dump the air, and then apply my lock so the air can't be started again. With a disconnect, I would turn the disconnect off and then apply my lock. When multiple people work on the equipment, you'll need multiple locks, one for each person. You'll notice when each one of your coworkers are working in an area, they have their earplugs in, their gloves on, cover resistant sleeves are on, they're wearing steel toe boots, safety glasses, they're ready to go. Remember, watching out for your coworkers is part of your job. So if you see a coworker not wearing their PPE, give them a friendly reminder. And if you're not wearing it, expect a friendly reminder and then put it on and give a good thank you because they're watching out for you.
Hey, did you catch that hazard in this clip? Check this out. He hands him the wrap, and then when he sets up the other wrap, you see that roll that fell? He could easily step backwards, trip, and fall. We need to recognize those hazards and take care of them.
And if you see something unsafe happening, say something, and then do something about it. So if I see an unsafe act taking place, I'm going to talk to the person doing it, get them to stop, talk to them about what's going on and why it might be unsafe, and then fix the problem. See something, say something, do something.
Let's talk about the different types of fire extinguishers, because you need different types of fire extinguishers for different types of fire, and that's very important. So a type A fire extinguisher is good for freely burning combustibles. So we're talking about paper or wood. You know, that's our first instinct when we think about fire. We think about wood burning or paper burning. That's a type A. Class B fire extinguisher is going to put out flammable liquids and gas. A Class C fire is an electrical fire. Now that's one that's started by an electrical current. And once you turn that power off, it's no longer a Class C fire. A Class D fire is a metallic fire. So that's like metals that can combust and cause fires. Those are very rare, but you need to know what it is when you see it. And a Class K fire is easy because K is for kitchen, and that's a kitchen fire. So you're talking about oil, grease, vegetable oil, fat, any of those things that can happen in your kitchen. That's a Class K fire. You need a specific fire extinguisher to put those out. It's important that if you do have a kitchen fire, a grease fire, oil fire, that you're not putting water on that. That's just going to spread it and intensify those flames. So make sure you recognize that and you use the proper fire extinguisher, or you can smother with something, but don't use water. Now that we talked about the different types of fire extinguishers, we need to know how to use a fire extinguisher. Now, we're going to go do a live version of this, but first we need to know what we're going to do. And a simple, easy way to remember it is the PASS technique. P-A-S-S. That's pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep. So you're pulling the pin, you're aiming the nozzle or the fire extinguisher toward the base of the fire, you're squeezing the handle, and then you're going to sweep back and forth until that fire's completely out.
Now, if we ever have an evacuation, it's important that you meet up at the emergency assembly point. Everyone will meet up here after finding their closest exit to get out of the building. Group up here for a head count. If you don't come here to get your head count, if firefighters or rescue services get here, they're going into the building, they're going to be looking for you, and you may not even be here. So it's vitally important that you meet up at the emergency assembly point, get your head count, and wait for direction. We make a lot of different products here at DBCI. None of them are worth you getting hurt or even worse. So remember, your safety is the highest value at DBCI.